Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sallie, joined by my co-host, Katie. We're identical twin sisters. We invite you to join us as we investigate our similarities and differences in all things life has to offer. Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sallie.
And I'm your other host, Katie.
And today we are having a special edition. It is a study break for us at Twin Study After Dark, which means we have brought in someone to interview.
Woohoo! Since Sally's been advertising this forever.
I've been talking about this every week since we started the podcast. Like, people don't believe me anymore.
They're never getting guests.
So our guest today, his name is Andrew. He is with the Oak, the fitness and nutrition community. He is an entrepreneur, business owner, fitness and nutrition coach. People who know him joke that he is their physical therapist and sometimes permanent therapist too. Lastly, most importantly, he is a father and a husband. Andrew, welcome to Twin Study After Dark.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you.
I'm really excited to
have you.
Do you want to introduce yourself in any other way to our guests? Like, who are we talking to today? Who is this mysterious Andrew?
I think you did a much better job than I would have. Like, you hit all the things. No, I mean, I am, like you said, I am the owner of the Oak and fitness, nutrition, and community. Exactly what you said, and I am proudly a husband of about 8 years, and then a dad of about 8 months. So things have been all the exciting things of the last 8 months. So, but yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really good. But yeah, I'm happy you're here.
Awesome. We're so excited. I really was interested in having you on the pod because I've known you for a couple years now. Weirdly, our paths have crossed. Yeah. Basically, back when I used to work out, I don't know, like maybe 5 years ago. It was like before COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was a while ago.
Yeah.
You would come in.
Yeah. It wasn't recently.
No. It was like before. It was right when we adopted Susie. So it was honestly 5 years ago. You would come and sub sometimes at my fitness class, my outdoor fitness class. Sometimes you'd come in sub, and I kind of knew you from that. But when we moved to the area, somebody told me that you had started your own company, and I was like, oh, no way. Like, he was such a good trainer. So that's why I tried the Oak. But anyway, I wanted to have you on the pod because now I've kind of gotten to know you a little bit more. You started your own business. You started your own fitness and nutrition company. You're not even 30, right? Did you start this when you were 28?
I just turned 30 in January.
Okay. So and this company's been around for how many years?
Yeah. We a year in March, so just over a year.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
So that's like incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
When I found that out, I was just like, that definitely takes a lot of confidence. I think your market is very saturated. Like, there's a lot of fitness people out there. And when I found out, I was like, he started his own company. Yeah. He's under 30, and you have a wonderful community that you've built.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, I'm just going to ask you some questions to kind of pick your brain.
Please. Yep. Absolutely.
So what was it that made you brave enough to be like, I'm just going to start my very own company? Because I don't think a lot of people would do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary.
Yes is the very short answer. It is scary. Officially, Sallie, you had mentioned my company that I was with. I was with them for 7.5 years, and taking that leap from building a community over 7 years and having a really established approach to what I was doing, to then saying, you know what, I'm unhappy here. I'm going to go start my own thing. That is what was the scariest, because after 7 years, I had thought I was going to be starting from scratch. Like, I built up this incredible community over 7 years, and it was like I have to have full expectation that I have to be starting from scratch. So what was extra scary too is that like at the same time, I just was real brave and probably dumb, to also at the same time, my wife and I were pregnant. So it was getting, leaving my company of 7 years, starting our own company, our own business. And then it's, hey, by the way, we're going to have a baby. So there was a lot of really scary things all happening all at once. But honestly, and it sounds so cliche, but the biggest thing that really just like forced me to do this, if you will, was my family and friends. Like they were so supportive. And I honestly can tell you that this has been the most humbling experience of my life. Because it's hard. It is hard, and it was scary to get into it. And you know, Sallie, you being one of the people that have humbled me as much as I have been humbled, coming back for so many years. Because, like you said, like I met you probably 5 years ago, and it was a very in passing style relationship, and that we had that when I randomly would train and step in and sub. But you are one of many. And I honestly don't even know the number at this point. And that has come back because they've heard, hey, I heard you started your own company, and I want to come back and I want to train with you.
Was your wife, how was she when she found out she was pregnant and she's like, you might not have a steady income? Was she like, nope, we got this, it's all going to work out? Or was she like, I'm terrified, like this is going to be terrible?
The short answer is she is my biggest cheerleader in the world. I think awesome. I would not be in the position that I am if I didn't have her. 100%, that is just, no matter the support I've gotten from outside of this home, that she is by far my biggest cheerleader. With that being said, we were both scared. You know, we were both like, is this a good idea? And so we both had our doubts, and we both went to that place that was kind of dark and scary of like, should we do this? Because it's all the things are happening at once, you know, between starting a business and having a child was like, we had 2 babies last year, that we tried to grow from scratch. So, but yeah, that's that. Yeah. She obviously, once I decided, you know what, I am going to do this. This is something that I think we should do. And she and I talked about it, prayed about it a lot, but, definitely something that like we both were in that mode of, all right, here we go.
I love that.
See what happens.
I just wanted to ask, can you elaborate on how you chose the name The Oak for your company?
Yeah. So a slightly embarrassing story, but I have always been fascinated with acorns. You know, if you ever are in my truck or ever in my office, like I have them everywhere. It's a weird thing for me. And like since childhood, I would always, and still to this day, I would collect them, I would dissect them, I would like peel them apart, and like that feeling that I get, it's a weird thing, but that feeling that I get when I like see the first acorn on an oak tree, during like going the transition into fall, it's just like, and then when I see them start to hit the driveway, it does something for me, and it's weird. But like after realizing, like when I started older, like really realizing the potential that's inside of acorn, you know, of like this is a like oak tree seedling that has the potential of being this incredible, strong, majestic oak tree. I grew to love them even more. So as I helped more and more people in the fitness industry and in the fitness world, and you know, I started with like family and friends, wasn't getting paid, like that, it didn't like start as a job for me. It just started kind of as like, hey, I'm working out, yes, you can join me. Like I realized my like true passion behind what I was doing in fitness wasn't based around, you know, people's weight loss or like muscle gain or even like PRs if they wanted like to go to a race and PR something for that. Like none of that really like stuck with me and like really like drove me of like I just completed my first push-up. Like great. the thing that really excited me was like when people switched their mindset, and like I saw the moment when people started to believe in themselves and have that, holy crap, I can't believe I just did that. Whatever it was, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if it is that first push-up, that's fine, but how did you react to that? And like having that just enormous belief in their potential is what really drove me to continue in the fitness industry, and why, like, what still drives my passion today, and all those things of like, just when that person, you can see it in their eyes when they're like, I didn't think I could do this, and I just did, whatever that looks like for you, you know, and knowing the potential. So like, you know, circling it back to the acorn of the potential that lives inside that acorn, you know, the limitations that people put on themselves is exactly that. They put it on themselves. No one, and unless they had a, you know, and everybody has a different story, right? So, you know, they believe that they can't, or they won't, or, you know, those things that happen. So, trying to have people see their potential of being kind of that oak to live in them. So, yeah, that's kind of the backstory on it. And then one night when I was really like struggling to make this decision to leave my old company to start my own thing, and I was going back and forth on like what to call it and what names, and then I was in the middle of the night, I woke up from dead sleep, and it was like a vision that I had of just this giant, gorgeous, beautiful oak tree.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
We love that.
I love that. Katie and I are like,
yeah,
we're humongous like signs people, like with like signs like in the middle of the night or whatever. But I also just want to comment on the fact, did any of this cross your mind while you were picking the name, that you literally said your wife and you were starting with a baby in her belly, but also your baby in fitness, like literally a seed? Like literally you were both growing in your own way. And like not only your company has like turned into this giant oak tree, but also your family at the same time. It's very symbolic.
Yeah, it's very poetic.
I know.
You know,
I love it.
Thing. Yeah.
After a year with the company, I sent out a survey to say like, hey, let me know your thoughts. I want some feedback. How can I be better? What do you love? What can I adjust? What can I do better? And one of the things that I was surprised about was like, and I still to this day don't know who it was, but was it may have been Sallie. One of the negative feedback that I got, I'm kidding, that I got was, I don't understand why you call the company the Oak. Like maybe I'll buy some merchandise if you change your name. Like, yeah, maybe this is why that the question came up.
I think
like,
honestly,
wow, okay.
Your explanation of why you call your company the Oak sold me. I thought it was so beautiful. I was like, I love that.
It just to me it fits. It's like nutrition, like growing your body. Like I was, and even just the stage in your life, like I'm like, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway, now you got a glimpse into him and why people like working with him.
Yeah, totally.
And you know, to that hater out there, I think you just keep going with the Oak and just make the logo even bigger next time.
Right, I know. Well, it's so funny because then I, of course, went on this rant of like, do you know what Apple does? Just because, like, you don't know that they're a technology company just by their name of the company, and like just this long list of these.
Oh, that's so
like,
funny.
what about Amazon? Does Amazon tell you what they do because of the title of their company? Yeah.
So for the people who are listening, the Oak, like I know what the company encompasses, but can you tell us about like the 4 different areas you kind of offer to your clients?
Of course, yeah. The one-on-one sessions are exactly what they sound like. It's just you and I with the deep dive of your goals. So one-on-ones will dive into your nutrition as well. So, and nutrition I'll talk about here in a second. But so one-on-ones, you get nutrition included, my nutrition coaching included. But it is just like I said, a real deep dive into your goals, what you need, versus like the semi-private or boot camp, those are more group classes. Yeah, one-on-one is definitely like you get what you pay for. That is the like deepest dive that you can take, based on the workouts that I designed specifically exactly for you and your needs, and then nutrition on top of that. The semi-private is probably, and I'm nervous to say this when I'm preaching about my company, but it's probably my favorite thing that I do in my with the oak. I think it's one of those things that I am so passionate about, because what semi-private does, we focus on strength. So you're going to lift really heavy, probably heavier than you usually do, like at a boot camp workout. And I say really heavy. Don't think like these meathead workouts that you're lifting a barbell that's 500 pounds. It's these very functional movements that, you might pick up a 50-pound dumbbell, where at boot camp, you may pick up like a 15-pound dumbbell. So semi-private, though, outside of strength, we focus a lot on mobility, and mobility, just trying to get your joints in a really healthy spot. And what I really believe in for my mobility sessions of the semi-private is longevity. So I'm training you during semi-private. I am training you for when you're 85 years old and trying to get off the ground or trying to play with your grandkids. And I'm completely going beyond the fact that, like, I want to train you to keep up with your kids. No, I want you to be set up for success, to where your joints don't just destroy you when you reach an age that things are tough to move. So I had, at one time in my life, not so long ago, 3 herniated discs in my lower back, L543, all at once. There was a moment that there was a day that I woke up and I could not move. There was a day that I had to call my wife to help me get out of my truck. So like things like that, like I couldn't move because I had herniated discs at the bottom of my lower back, my lumbar spine. So with semi-private, my experience that I had through that, it's getting your joints in a really, really healthy spot, and learning proper body mechanics and how to move properly, and like what your core really is, and how to protect your lower back and or herniate something or bulge something. So listen, and we don't just focus on the back; it's a lot of other things, but all your joints is what we focus on there.
I wanna vouch for the semi-privates for you real quick, because I was just talking to somebody in boot camp, and she was saying she hasn't tried a semi-private. And for anyone listening who's like thinking they want to start a workout community, I've done a lot of your offerings and they're all beneficial in their own way, but I will say the semi-private isn't what I expected it to be. It really was truly like getting your body in line. It's not yoga. It's not necessarily stretching, but it is kind of, in a way, doing certain moves to really like get to know your body more.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this the other day when we were working out Monday. Somebody said, "Oh, he's saying to like use my abs. I don't even know what that feels like." And I told you when I came semi-private, it was the first time I ever like you were like tighten your core, and I was like, I don't think I can do that. Like I was like, there's nothing. And he like taught me how to do that. Yeah. And I think especially like after you give birth and have a baby, and like that's kind of like not, like you kind of like forget how to use it. So like I really didn't, I always, I stand with my stomach sticking out, like,
yeah,
always. And like you were the first one that was like, no, you have to do this to get your core. And just knowing how to do those body movements to lift things, like that's so much healthier and better for your body. I mean, not to get too like into women, but like your pelvic floor and everything too, I would imagine that's what semi-privates are helping you with. Yeah, like those muscles you don't always know how to like
the
actually utilize. Yeah. So I definitely recommend it to anybody. Just anybody, truly anybody could get something from that. It's so beneficial.
Especially talking to my wife a lot about it, of like what I do and what my approach should be during semi-private. Her experiencing the things that she does in her female body, it's like pelvic floor is a necessity for females. It is just, and those things that we start with every single time. Core bracing, how to properly core brace, and pelvic floor and all those things that we start with, and then you're set up for success later. And then there's boot camp, which boot camp is what I did and knew for the 7 years that that was with the old company. That's the fun atmosphere. That is the fast pace, a lot of movements, a lot of cardio, some lighter strength. And I say lighter strength because there are days that I intentionally like tax the muscles a lot with a higher reps but lower rate kind of thing. But that is where you get a big group of people and it's just fun. It's high energy, all those things. And then nutrition coaching is another thing. And I'm also a certified nutritionist on top of being a certified personal trainer. So my approach to nutrition is kind of controversial because I let you eat whatever you want. But we have macros, and I keep you inside of a very specific window of those macros. So it's not the wild, wild west. You're still put within a very specific window. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But it's something that I found there was a lot of things wrong with the fitness world and the nutrition world. Of the amount of people that I've talked to when they talk about nutrition is, I've tried this, it didn't work. I tried this and it worked really well, but it didn't last. So I try to figure out those things. I'm not going to go grocery shopping with you. I want you to be able to live your life for a long time and have it as something that you can sustain for a really long time. So
I'm wondering, like the sustainment of like the enthusiasm. You think about like New Year's, everybody's like, I'm going to diet now, or I'm going to start working out, and it lasts for a month or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so like
right.
helping people sustain that excitement or enthusiasm towards a goal they have. Is there any advice you'd have for that, or is just
directly talking to the people that are unsure of where to start or have attempted so many different things? Nothing should happen quickly. Nothing is when you're talking about fitness and most things in life, but I'm on here to talk about fitness and nutrition. But it's not supposed to be easy and it's not supposed to be fast. If you hear a way that it's supposed to be fast and easy, run away. Don't do it. Because yes, someone can absolutely drop weight. If you're, so let's specifically talk about weight loss. You can drop weight quickly by, here's the spicy part, taking a pill, ejecting a shot, going on a medication, even surgery.
Yeah.
All those things are possible, and you can absolutely lose weight doing that. But what you didn't do is change your lifestyle and change your habits. And it was a quick fix that in 6 months down the road, when you created all these habits to get to where you're unhappy with in the first place, you're right back to where you started.
Because I think what I do sometimes, and I think a lot of other people may as well, is I can become very obsessed about a routine or a regime, like an exercise routine I'm into for X amount of time. And then I'll see results and I'll get really obsessive. But then if I miss it, then I'll start hating myself. Or I'll be like, I can't believe I failed and missed it.
Right.
And then it's like this, I feel like it's a toxic relationship.
Then you kind of give up.
Yeah, because I'm like, I hate feeling that way.
The importance of grace is unreal. Because if you don't extend yourself that grace to say, it's okay that I just had an Oreo. Because I have met people that it's like, I just ruined everything I've been working towards. What? Yeah. No, you haven't. Like, it's okay. You're a real person. It's like, I missed my run today, and now I'm going to get fat. Like, whoa, okay, now we need to talk about a different mindset, a different mentality.
Yeah.
So that I think is another thing that I would really, really encourage, is just the ability to offer grace, with some discipline around the grace, right? But me personally, all of us, I can relate directly, which I think is part of my story, is that I personally have been in these dark places that I really struggle with my self-image. I'm really unhappy with my physical state, and there are days that I like want to emotionally eat my feelings, and like all the things that everyone assumes that I don't experience, I do. So like I came up with the phrase discipline over motivation, because when you discipline yourself enough to say, I don't care how I feel right now, I need to do this for my goals, right? Like your goals don't care about how you feel. Like you're at the end of the day, your goals don't care about you had a long day. They don't care that you're tired. They don't care if you're motivated. They like you have to discipline yourself enough to be consistent with the thing that you enjoyed, like what you just talked about. And then, things don't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. And if it takes a long time, that's good because it changes who you are as a person.
Any other questions, Katie?
When you have reached a point of like feeling low, what do you do to get out of that?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh. That's a great question. Honestly, I just kind of have to start really slow. Because I have a pretty consistent and disciplined workout routine right now, and it's not it's something that is very varied. It's not the same thing every day, and it's different than what a lot of people might do, but it's something that works for me, kind of like what I talked about earlier. But when I reach those dark places of just in that lull and like, man, like I haven't worked out in I don't know. I don't know an example to give you to like make it more relatable, but if it's been, for me personally, if it's been more than a week and a half, 2 weeks that I haven't worked out, like I am in that dark place just because that's what works for me. I understand that like for people listening, it may be like, well, I haven't worked out in like 6 months, so like you can't relate to me. But no, honestly, like it's something that you just have to start slow. You cannot jump into it full force. And like honestly, this happened recently. It was when my grandfather passed away in March. And I was just in this really like, we were hosting family for 2 weeks straight. I was in this really like deep, dark emotional state. And I just wasn't working out. Like it was something that I completely lost my routine. And to get back into it, I started by like a half-mile run just to tell myself, hey, you did something today. Even if it's not at the max level that you used to go and you're going to be at soon. Because it's really, and I hear this all the time, it's so hard when you know where you used to be, right? The enemy is in the comparison, and sometimes you're comparing yourself to yourself. And that is so hard to do. So, I honestly, my advice, and where speaking from experience, just start slow. Even if you say, hey, I'm going to go walking for 30 minutes. Great. You told yourself, you disciplined yourself enough to say, I'm going to do this no matter my circumstances around me, even if it's slow, and then you progress from there. And then progression starts to happen and results start to happen. And then you can ramp it up. It doesn't have to be like, all right, I'm gonna go do CrossFit tomorrow. It's like, hold on, like let's slow down for a second. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah. I think that's great advice.
Okay.
Love that, because part of that too is just like committing to something. Like even if you say like it's a walk, you're committing to like that time to do something, and then like eventually, maybe it'll grow. I love that advice. I think that's really like not intimidating, because sometimes when you have a couple weeks where you're like, I just haven't been working out, you're like, damn, I could run 5 miles before, and now I can't do that. But I think that's awesome. I love that you start with a place of grace and you're just like, go slow. I think that's really awesome.
I think
advice.
That's good, helpful information that a lot of people could use.
And it's not scary, right? Like it's like literally do as much as you're comfortable with.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's helpful. Yeah. That's great advice.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah, we love that.
For sure. Yeah.
I really want to know if somebody's nervous about starting a fitness routine, or even like talking nutrition as well, because I know like you had mentioned before, there's so many different diets, you have a different plan, but like I know that there have been times when I've been intimidated to just start something that I've never done before. So how could you help, or what would you tell somebody that was nervous about that?
If anybody is nervous about starting kind of a fitness plan or a nutrition plan and just going to they don't know where to start, my one-liner for it is exercise will never outrun bad nutrition. Obviously everyone's going to respond a little bit different to all things because every body is different, but constant frustration I hear off of people because they're working out all the time. I work out 5-6 days a week and I'm not hitting my goals. How's your nutrition? So that's kind of my one-liner of if anybody's nervous about starting things, just understand exercise, your workouts will never outrun poor nutrition habits. So get that in line, really try to create awareness, start reading labels, track download one of those tracking apps that tracks your calories and your macros and those things, and just start to create awareness that you're what those things, or even if it's going to get blood work done, just knowing what you need to do to start to adjust your diet, your nutrition. The next thing that I would really say is when we mentioned it earlier too, but you have to find, yes, what works for you, but something that you enjoy.
I was going to say, my perspective on this is so different than both of you because you're both so into fitness.
I've always been into fitness. Katie's always been into art. She's the artist.
I would be more interested to know, what would you tell somebody who would be intimidated to show up to one of your boot camps, or I assume there's people of all different ranges, and
they're all marathon runners. No, I'm just kidding. No, everybody's at a different level.
I feel like that's the most intimidating
You're
part.
afraid to join something that you think it's when I first came, just coming to a new community, it seemed scary. You don't know exactly everybody, and you don't know if everyone's going to be welcoming, or especially because I knew your followers kind of followed you. You guys had known each other for a while. But Katie, I promise, everybody, and that's the thing that I want people to know about the Oak, and I'm sure you do too, is everybody is so welcoming. And they're so excited when somebody new comes along, and you become friends with them. It really is just how we always say, so Katie and I always go hiking, and we love hiking. Florida's not the best for it. But how you and I are always hikers are the nicest people. They're just always saying hi and so friendly. That's how I feel about your boot camps. Truly, it's not competitive in a way that's intimidating. You know what I mean? Also, everyone's each other's cheerleaders too.
Well, and I intentionally have created the workouts, especially for boot camp, at the Oak, to where not once, and Sallie, you can attest to this, but when you're at boot camp specifically, there's not been one workout that you're directly competing with anybody else. There's this mindset that I'm going to work harder because the person next to me is working harder, or I'm going to work harder because I see as I'm running, my last run of the workout, and there's 7 other people waiting for me at the finish line, just cheering my name and going nuts. I have intentionally made it to where the workouts are built around the community aspect, not the competition. Because exactly what Sallie and I had said, this is for all levels.
I think that's the community that you made, because I don't think all trainers have that community, and that's a testament to you and the people that have followed you, and just the atmosphere that you've grown. I think that has something to do with you as a trainer. That's really special. I was going to ask too, your main clientele, do you have, is it mostly women, or is it half and half?
Absolutely. If I were to put a percentage on it, I would say 80-20. 80% is female, 20% is male. And the influx of males that I have, honestly, I just think it's a very specific thing for guys to just want their very quiet garage style I don't want to talk to anybody. I want my loud music in my ears, and I want to lift as heavy as I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just there's a different desire, and a different interest that I can get from males to females. And then what's funny is when I have these females bring their husbands or bring their spouses, and then they blow them out of the water, and then the guys never come back. So that's a problem too.
Yeah.
So because they see all these females, especially like all different ranges. I have everything from mid-20s to late 70s, and just hey, male that as a random example, maybe try some cardio on top of your weights. Maybe, because that's just a very specific interest of guys that they like their quiet time, and they're like workout, which is fine. Like, and I don't know if we're gonna get to it later, but that's something that I really am passionate about, really, to say. If it works for you, do it. I understand that I'm not for everybody. I understand that my approach is not for everybody. But if you're taking care of yourself, that is what's important. So
yeah.
I think women need like community,
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's like, I think it's a women thing where they're like, I want community. Like, I like to laugh in the morning when I'm like, I think women are just more prone to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny though, because Adam came to one of your workouts like a year ago. We joke because he only came to one. And he hasn't come back. But the ladies there, they were just so nice about it. They were like, he did so good. Oh my gosh, he was so cute. He wasn't tired. Right. And I'm like, they're so positive and uplifting about him. And I'm like, but he didn't stay. And I'm like, you had so much support, babe. Like, why are you going back? But yeah, I think there's something with guys. It's just the girls like the sense of community. I really think that's true. And honestly, if I was a single guy, I'd be listening to this right now being like, maybe I should go to the Oak because there's 80% women there. But most of them are attached, I will say. I think. Yeah. I think most of them are attached. And like,
that's true.
But your so your events that you have, they're open to everyone, correct?
Yeah, no, it's open for everybody. And I intentionally make them family friendly every time. And the back half of the series is it's our race half. So our first half, there are 6 events. The first 3 are workout style, and then our second 3 they are more races. So it's workout, race. So they're all family friendly, but then the races draw more families doing it together. Like last year, Sallie, you brought your kiddos for the Shirking Trot that I ran in November, which is awesome. I love that. But that's why I made the series, because it is open to everybody, and I don't need you to be working out with me. I don't need you to be one of my clients to be able to have access to be able to train for something every couple months. Like, no matter what you're doing, I wanted to give the opportunity to, if you're doing CrossFit, if you're doing just your gym workout, if you're doing your garage workout, if you're doing just running, solely running, like whatever style training you're doing, you have something specific to train for. Put it on your calendar. And when you come to the workout, or when you come to one of the events that I've never met you, we're all going to be so happy that you're there. You're going to get that support from the community. And if we only see you for the events, that's fine. That's okay. Because you have the thing that you like to do on the side. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I love that they're local. I love they're in Apopka, because I feel like it's just helping build our community into a place that has events, because a lot of events are downtown Orlando, so it's really nice to have actually local events that our families can like grow up knowing, like, this event happens here or whatever, and at this time of the year and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another huge reason I did it, because I born and raised in Apopka. Growing up, I always had to travel to a race that I wanted to do or an event that I signed up for. It was always like, okay, I have to go down to Winter Garden or downtown Orlando or Lake Nona, but like nothing was here in our community. So I'm like, let's have people come to us. Let's create these events. And like the turkey trot, we had people from all over.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think we'd all like to see a Popka like do well and have these type of things.
I would love it if my 5Ks were in a Popka.
I know. You hate driving downtown all the time.
I go to Baldwin Park all the time.
I know. Katie's, her 5K of the month is going to be the turkey trot. But you have an event that's coming up in July.
Yeah.
Your next event, correct? It is called the Duran.
It's called Duran. Yeah. So it's a hero workout is what we call it. So in the fitness world, hero workout is to honor someone that's fallen. So, Memorial Day Murph is a really big hero workout that's known across the nation. During Memorial Day weekend, you'll see posts all over and just people in the fitness community, no matter what platform, participating in Murph, because that is a hero workout that honors the fallen for Memorial Day, but very specifically around Lieutenant Michael Murphy, that was a U.S. Navy SEAL that passed away in combat in a very heroic way. So Murph was created because this was his favorite workout that he did. So that's what you do around Memorial Day. So a hero workout that is more close to home in this series is actually back-to-back from Murph. We do another hero workout in July that's coming up on July 9th and 13th. So we have 2 different dates, and I'll explain why here in a second. But that is to honor fallen Apopka firefighter Austin Duran. So the workout itself is called Duran for Austin Duran, and he was a firefighter with the Apopka Fire Department that unfortunately, just due to an accident that just should not have happened, passed away from just lack of training, not his fault. Lack of leadership, again, not his fault, and a malfunction with equipment that around one of the fire stations. So with that, there was a huge following and just support behind the family, behind Austin, because on June 30th in 22 is when the accident happened. And then for 15 days, there was so much prayer and support and just a rally behind Austin when he was in the hospital attempting to recover. Unfortunately, he did pass away from it due to injuries that his body just couldn't fight anymore. So on July 15th is when he officially passed. So what the 2650 Foundation is doing, which is the foundation that was built in memoriam of him, because 2650 was his badge number, is doing 15 Days of Hope starting on June 30th and going to July 15th. It is just, they're running different events and just a lot of positivity around those. We are honored that they asked us to run our Duran workout, our hero workout for him within those 15 days. And like I said, we're going to do 2 different dates because it is more of a first responder style workout. It is still open to everyone. It's still open to the public, but because the firefighter community is so tight knit, they all wanted to be there last year when I did it for the first time. But unfortunately, some of them were on shift, some of them were working. So we're going to do it on 2 dates. So those that are not on shift on the 9th can come on the 9th, and then those that are not on shift on the 13th can come on the 13th. So we have 2 different dates that's coming up, and the workout itself, like I said, I'm very honored to have had the opportunity to write this workout and create it as this incredible hero workout that so many people support. But 2650 was Austin's badge number as a firefighter. So that's where the 2650 Foundation came from. That's the title. And then Duran is 2650, to where you're, as an athlete, as a participant of the workout, you are actually working. Your working time is 26 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay.
So you get the same working time as his badge number.
Very cool.
So that's coming up on July 9th. And then if you're not available on a Tuesday night, then you have the July 13th on Saturday morning. So all proceeds go to, it's a free event to register, to participate, and all proceeds go to the 2650 Foundation for raffle sales that we're going to do. We're going to do some cool raffle prizes that are out there on the 13th. And then you can purchase raffle tickets on the 9th, but you have to be present on the 13th to win. And then that is going toward the foundation to just support training, support classes that they would go to, equipment, scholarships for firefighters that are going through academy and all those things. So, but yeah, it's a great event that's coming up.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I love, again, that you've gotten involved with the community and like you're able to support that event, like hold that event. Yeah. That's amazing. And I already told Katie and her boyfriend that they're coming. So we're going to force Katie to work out maybe twice this month.
Maybe twice this year. Welcome to the Oak Series, Katie.
We're about to wrap up here in just a little bit. Do you have any following questions for Andrew? I know this is only your first meeting with him.
No, but I just have to say that it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I've loved hearing about everything you're doing. I specifically just loved the story of how you came up with the oak.
I know.
I'm just a feeler. Like, I love those, like, in the middle of the night thoughts and that come to fruition. That stuff gives me the chills.
Before we end, I just want to ask, so Andrew, you've created your own company. That's honestly, it's quite a success. You're 30 years old. What's next for you? Where's this going? What's your biggest dream for this? Say it out loud. No, I'm just kidding.
Honestly, no, it's great. So, the first goal, the big dream that I have is to expand a team and create a team. Because right now it's just my wife and I. So, because I'm wearing all the hats, I don't feel like I'm truly doing the oak and what the vision for this and what I'm called to do as much service as I can that it deserves, because I'm just being pulled in 1,000 different directions. So, like an admin, an event director to take over and really just dive into those events, community outreach for things like the Duran event that's coming up, and just pouring into our first responders and make sure that they know that they're supported, and just walking into other companies and other businesses and those kind of things, and HR, things like that. Another trainer one day is another big dream, to add offerings and to expand on offerings, I guess, add to our schedule that we already have. And luckily, like my wife, because like I said earlier, she's been an incredible support system. She is officially has already taken over as our media specialist, if you will. So if you follow the Oak on Instagram or on Facebook, the reason why it's looked so good over the last month and a half is because that's all Mrs. Reyes, not Andrew, not me. So she has done an incredible job just making it look so good, and just really getting that community engagement through social media and marketing. And it's also just taken so much stress off of me, because I'm terrible at social media. I'm terrible at the media stuff. And she's not. She's the opposite. She's so good at it. So it's already relieved a lot of things for me. So to directly answer that question, I think just expanding the team one day is the goal. That way we can dedicate what it deserves and what this community needs.
Yeah, I feel like you have so much to offer. I could probably pick your brain all day, because I'm even my mind is always thinking, popping questions. Yeah. But no, I really want everyone listening.
Let's do a sequel episode. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, there you go. After Katie goes to the Duran event. And
my God.
She can give her feedback.
Guys, don't even put this on me. But I would love to join an event.
I'm going to make my boyfriend come. I'm going to force him to come, and then you have to come.
Oh, my gosh.
So, tell our listeners where they can find the Oak, where they can find you, if they want to reach out to you and ask you about nutrition, fitness, look into your programs, look into your events. Where can they find you?
Yeah. So I'll talk social media first, because my wife will be proud of me for doing that. So on Instagram and Facebook, you can find us with The Oak Community. so the Oak is the company, and then community is kind of a tagline because the Oak exists in several different platforms. So the Oak community, and if you Google the Oak community, you're going to get a lot of neighborhoods. That happens a lot. So don't Google it. We're getting there. We're trying to fix that.
There's worse things.
But yeah, on social media, you can find us. That's true. That's true. Yeah, on social media, you can find us through the Oak community, and then our website is the place that you're going to find all the information. Our offerings, my contact information, are the registration for the next event, the schedule for our events if you are just interested in the events. And there's also, I call them whiteboard workouts, which are just free workouts that I wrote personally. If you're not able to make it or are nervous about going to a workout in person, these are workouts that I've written with my whiteboard in my garage. That you can do just from the website and pull those and do it and do it from anywhere. So all the information that you could ever want about the Oak is on theoakcommunity.com. And that's just the source of all things. Yeah.
I'll make sure that I put your website as well as your social media information in our show notes today as well.
Okay.
So for anyone who's listening to the podcast, you can go and click. It'll take you to the Instagram page, the Facebook page, and we'll put the website on there for anyone who's interested in joining or just contacting Andrew, because he is an expert in some of these important things in life. So thank you. Katie, did you feel this was cool?
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much for sitting with us.
I know you guys don't know each other, but now you kind of do.
We kind of know I feel like we're friends now.
Absolutely.
I mean, you totally are. I think so. So thank you so much for being our first guest on Twin Study After Dark Study Break.
Thank you. Yeah.
You made our
Thanks for making this so
much easier.
This was fun.
I mean, you made our episode, it was easier for us because you did most of the talking. That's why it's a study break, because we're just listening to you.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah. That's the point. We want to hear your voice. And I really hope that you were able to share everything you wanted to. Like I said, I could ask you a million questions. I'm fascinated by your journey. I definitely look up to you and your work ethic and the community that you've built, and continue doing what you're doing. We hope that in another year we can just see those branches growing and getting all the places you want to be in life with the Oak. So thank you so much.
That's great. That's awesome.
And screw that person that didn't like the name.
Yeah.
So funny. I love that you reference that back. That's so funny. It just fueled my fire. That's all.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm just kidding. But thank you so much. Have a good night. Go put your baby to bed. I think it's probably bedtime now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. It was so nice to meet you. Bye. Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's Sallie. We're going to leave our story there for today and pick up next week on Twin Study After Dark. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, please rate, review, and subscribe. We'll meet again next week for more Twin Studies. Bye.